So with the release of the M4 Mac Mini and the M4 Pro Mac Mini, there's been a lot of confusion online with people thinking, do I get this one? Do I get that one? Is this one better for me? Is that one better for me? Do I upgrade this? Do I upgrade that? And to be honest, I can understand it, because when you do go on the Apple website, there is a lot of options to choose from. Do you want to upgrade for this much? Do you want to upgrade storage for this much? And yeah, it can be kind of questionable. Do I need that? Do I not need that? But now that I've used both of them, the base model M4 Mac Mini and now the M4 Pro Mac Mini base model, I kind of feel like I can give you an understanding of which one may be better suited towards you and towards your purpose. Now, of course, at the end of the day, this is just my opinion, so it's all down to you what one you want to get. You don't have to listen to me, but hopefully it gives you some clarity on the decision you're about to make. Now, if it is your first time here, my name's Almir, aka MrHtech. On this channel, we make tech simple. Do consider hitting that subscribe button below to subscribe to the channel and see more videos once they're out. Like the video if you do end up liking it, share it with your friends and family who you think might benefit from these kind of videos as well. And leave a comment down below. Let me know, are you a new Mac user, existing Mac user? Is this your first Mac ever? And let's check out this comparison, because to be honest, I think people are making it a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. So in essence, I'm making everything less complicated and much more simpler. Instead of just throwing numbers on the screen, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to split the video up into chapters, and I'll have them listed here, and then you can go to whichever one you want. I would highly recommend watching the whole video. I'll try not to make it that long, because then you get the full picture and full understanding instead of just getting sections. Now, if you haven't been on my channel before, you wouldn't know, but I've actually made a lot of videos on the M4 Mac Mini. I've done gaming tests, I've done stress tests, benchmarking, export tests. I've even compared it to my M1 Max MacBook Pro, and which was at the time when it came out one of the top tier machines out there. So if you haven't watched them, I'll link them in the comments box below as well, or a description box, and maybe even somewhere up here. But yeah, check them out after you watch this video, because I think they'll be quite beneficial for you to understand the performance benefits you gain from this new M4 Mac Mini machines. So let's first talk about the design and the build of the two devices. Now, when it comes to the M4 base model Mac Mini and the M4 Pro Mac Mini, there isn't really anything. They look identical essentially. Now, the ports are what changes. On the front, you've got the same ports. However, on the back, on the base model M4 Mac Mini, you've got 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports. And on the M4 Pro, you've got 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports. Now, what does that mean? Thunderbolt 5 ports are essentially 2 to 3 times faster than Thunderbolt 4. However, at the minute, there's not many things out there to support the Thunderbolt 5 ports. There is a couple NVMe enclosures and SSD drives and a couple hubs coming out, but there is a lot more stuff out there for Thunderbolt 4. So if you're not really sure what Thunderbolt 5 is, you probably best get the base model M4, because you'll be more suited towards that. Now, there is a lot more stuff Thunderbolt 5 coming out later on in the future, so if you plan to keep the machine for a longer period of time, then Thunderbolt 5 does become a more viable option and something that you can look forward to. And then we come down to the specs and the spec breakdown, and I think this is where a lot of people just get so confused, and rightfully so, because there's so many options to choose from. Do I upgrade the unified memory? Do I upgrade the storage? For the sake of the video, let's just stick to the base models of both versions. Obviously, something I would suggest, if you're getting the base model M4 Mac Mini with that 256 gigabytes of storage, if you're not comfortable with buying an NVMe enclosure and an NVMe SSD to make your own DIY, essentially DIY external drive, then upgrade to the 512 gigabytes of storage, just to have that peace of mind later on that you have enough storage for everything. If you are comfortable doing that, what I would say is keep the 256 gigabytes of storage on the M4 Mac Mini. And I've made a video, I'll try and link it up here, how you can buy an NVMe drive with an NVMe SSD or an enclosure with an SSD, put them together, and you can get over 1 terabyte, I believe, of storage for under $200, which is a lot better value than what Apple are offering. You can keep that plugged into your M4 Mac Mini constantly, and then move all your large files, folders over to that drive. So all you'll essentially have on your M4 Mac Mini is the operating system and a few programs that need to be run off the main drive because they have some compatibility issues. But everything else, essentially, you can move over to the external drive. Then that external drive you can also upgrade later on with more storage if you want to. You can use it with other devices. So it gives you a lot more options than just upgrading the storage on the Mac Mini, and then that's where the storage stays. You can't really do anything with it. You can't upgrade it later on until you actually sell the device and you buy another one. So if you want to do something like that, I'll try and link the video in the description box of where I actually did that and show you how to do it. Also, I'll link a bunch of NVMe enclosures and NVMe drives you can buy in the description box below, as well as other peripherals and stuff like that that might be useful when you're getting your first M4 Mac Mini. Now, when it comes to the M4 Pro Mac Mini, I think that 25 gigabytes of RAM is pretty good starting point, and you do get 512 gigabytes of storage, which is also a very good amount of storage. Now, unlike the base model M4 Mac Mini, with the M4 Pro, like I said, you get Thunderbolt 5, and I've actually made a video on Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, because upgrading to, say for example, you want 4 terabytes of storage on your M4 Pro Mac Mini, which a lot of professionals out there are going to want more storage out there, because these professional grade programs, etc., these files, they take up a lot more storage space. So if you want that 4 terabytes of storage on the M4 Pro Mac Mini, if you upgrade with Apple, I think it costs you like $1,200. Luckily now with Thunderbolt 5, you get them speeds potentially even faster than the internal drives on the Mac Mini. So you can, I'll link it here, you can actually get yourself an NVMe enclosure and a 4 terabyte NVMe drive for, I think, less than half the price of upgrading with Apple, which will save you a lot of money. And then you can do the same stuff I mentioned on the M4 Pro with moving all your large files over, keep just the bare necessities on your M4 Mac Mini, and you'll benefit in a great way. And then when it comes to the actual unified memory upgrade, that's very subjective, and I feel like that's going to be very personal to you. 24 gigabytes is quite good. If you do a lot of software development and programs that like Photoshop and 4K large file edits on Final Cut, and you have them open simultaneously and you don't like to close your apps, I would suggest possibly upgrading to the 48 gigabytes of RAM. That's what I personally did. I kept my storage at 512 gigabytes, upgraded my memory to 48 gigabytes because I know that my machine is going to be using a lot more memory, and I've already got a solution for the storage. So bear that in mind. If you're using a lot of them pro grade apps that are going to be using a lot of memory space, you might want to upgrade your unified memory to 48 gigabytes instead of that standard 24. If not, standard 24 is perfectly fine as well. It does a lot of out there. But if you plan on keeping this device for a long period of time, which I personally do, the 48 gigabytes is more future proofing, because I know later on down the line, if these programs do start to use up more storage, or if I'm doing something that's more intensive on the actual unified memory, I've got that leeway and extra memory to last me. Now, when it comes to performance comparisons, like I mentioned before, I've done a lot of videos between the M4 Mac Mini benchmarks, stress tests, Final Cut export tests, and gaming tests, etc. So all the videos are out there on my channel. M4 Mac Mini is a great device. Of course, with the M4 Pro, you do get them extra performance cores and you get the extra graphical cores. So if you plan to do a lot of gaming and you want the absolute best gaming performance on a Mac, which is quite funny to say, you want to get the M4 Pro model, because you're going to get much more frame rates and a better graphical experience, especially when it comes to the details and higher frame rates, which will equate to a better experience when you're gaming. Not to say the M4 Mac Mini can't game. I've made a video about it can game, but if you want better results, so if you do watch that M4 Mac Mini video that I made about gaming and you're satisfied with the results that I was getting there, then perfectly fine, you can get the base model M4 Mac Mini. If you feel like you want higher results and faster performance, the M4 Pro might be the one for you, because you'll get that extra graphical performance. And then when it comes to video exporting, funnily enough, I did test between the M4 Mac Mini, the M1 Max and the M4 Pro exporting the same videos. So I've got 3 videos that I did, and they're all on the channel right now, the M4 Mac Mini videos. I exported all 3 on the 3 different devices, and I was kind of surprised about the results. So let me show you. The first video I ever made about the M4 Mac Mini, it was 7 minutes and 5 seconds long. When I exported it with the M4 base model Mac Mini, it took it 7 minutes and 41 seconds to export. And when I exported it with the M1 Max MacBook Pro, it took 4 minutes and 41 seconds to export. So I tried it on the M4 Pro Mac Mini, and it did it in 3 minutes and 25 seconds, which is just ridiculous and fastest of them all. Sometimes it doesn't matter about how many cores you have, but these newer machines, they're much more optimized, and it's, at the end of the day, it's newer technology, so it's going to be better off than something that's a couple years old. Second video I did was the M4 Mac Mini setup guide. Now that video is 11 minutes and 40 seconds long. The base model M4 Mac Mini exported it in 13 minutes 44 seconds. The M1 Max MacBook Pro exported it in 9 minutes 41 seconds. And then when I did it on the M4 Pro, it only took 5 minutes and 50 seconds, which ridiculous. Last video I did was the M4 Mac Mini gaming video. It's 8 minutes 12 seconds long. The base model M4 Mac Mini exported it in 8 minutes and 56 seconds. The M1 Max MacBook Pro exported it in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And then the M4 Pro exported it in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. So, like I say, all three machines super capable when you're editing, super smooth when you're actually in the editing process. The export times do vary, as you can see. If you're someone that's exporting a video here and there, obviously these export times won't mean much to you. You'll put your video to export, you'll go do something else, and then that 2-3 minutes won't make any difference. If you're someone that's exporting multiple different videos every single day, them 2, 3, 4, and 5 minutes will start to pile up. So you might be better off getting the M4 Pro to have them faster export speeds and then save yourself time later on down the line. I think for a majority of people, the export times won't really make that much of a difference. But potentially if you're exporting videos which are 40 minutes, 50 minutes long, which some people do, then that gap between the base model M4 Mac Mini and the M4 Pro will be larger. So in essence, saving you a lot more time if you've got the M4 Pro. And I think, to put it simply, if you're a college student, a starting content creator, or you just need a desktop for your at home to use with the family, the M4 Mac Mini base model is going to be a great device. Now, if you're someone that does heavy video, photo editing using multiple applications like software development, Blender, etc., that are heavy on CPU usage and memory usage, the M4 Pro is going to be the one for you. That is probably the simplest way I can put it. And then price to performance ratio, I honestly don't think you'll get a better price to performance than the base model M4 Mac Mini. That $599 price tag for that performance you get is just ridiculous. Obviously, if you go for the M4 Pro, you get that higher performance. And that $1399 price tag is also very good. But for the majority of people out there, that $599 price tag is going to be very appealing. And do not be afraid. The M4 Mac Mini is a very capable machine. Luckily, Apple have a 14-day return guarantee. So whatever you do, decide in the end, test it out for them 10 days or whatever, push it to its limits. If it passes the test, keep it. If it doesn't pass the test, you know that you're going to need to upgrade it to get a different version and return that one to Apple. And which one should you buy? Like I've mentioned in this whole video, it's not down to me to tell you which one you should buy. You should know by now which one might be the best one for you. Hopefully I've given you some clarity on this and which one may be better suited for your needs. Now, for me personally, I've customized my own M4 Mac Mini. I went for 48 gigabytes of unified memory and 512 gigabytes of storage. Why low storage, you might be asking? Well, I did make a video, like I mentioned before, about the Thunderbolt 5 ports and using an external drive, which is the route I'm going to take, because instead of giving Apple $1,200 for 4 terabytes of storage, I can actually spend $500, get 4 terabytes of storage on an external drive that's equally as fast, if not faster, than the internal drive on the M4 Pro Mac Mini. And then that drive I can actually use for other stuff instead of just having it in my M4 Mac Mini, which is better suited to my needs. So if you're interested in something like that, like I said, I'll include a bunch of links down below on peripherals and NVMe drives and external storage solutions for anyone out there looking. And I'll also link my previous videos down there. Or if you do like this video and you have earned your subscription, thank you. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends and family. Go check out the other M4 Mac videos that I've made. Hopefully I've helped you out in this one. And if you've made it this far, which I don't know how many people have, leave an emoji down below. Let me know if you are a new Mac user, if you're an old Mac user, and what spec you have gone for when it comes to the M4 Mac Mini, or what spec you're going to go for if you plan to actually buy one. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, night, morning, whenever you're watching this, and I will catch you on the next one.